If you were having a conversation with a learner driver right now, would you tell them to learn manual or stick shift for our American viewers, or would you tell them to save the hassle and go automatic? This is a thought I had the other day as I was walking home when I saw a shiny new VW ID3 with learner plates on. Compared to the US, the UK has been steadfast in clinging onto its obsession for manual transmission cars. But even in the UK, most new diesel and petrol cars are now automatic. And by 2030, there won't even be any petrol or diesel cars on sale in the UK. Everything will be electric.
And that's a good thing.
As you probably know, most electric cars are single speed, and the rare electric vehicles that have more than one gear still have automatic transmission. Manual gear changes will likely be a thing of the past in our lifetimes, except for those who really want to cling on to their classic stick shift cars. So it begs the question, given that learning to drive an automatic car is much easier than learning to drive a manual car, is there any point in getting a manual driving license in the age of electrics and automatics?
What would be the point?
What do you think? I'm interested to know, and I know that there will be some fairly fierce debate on this one, so I want to try and look at this objectively and start with some facts. And the surprising fact is that in the UK at least, you have a better chance of passing a manual driving test than an automatic driving test. Just to be clear, in the UK you can either get a full driving licence, which has to be done in a manual transmission car and allows you to drive automatic or manual cars, or you can do an automatic only driving test. UK driving tests are designed to be hard, and the average pass rate across the country is 47%, yet the average pass rate for automatic cars is just 39%.
Wow.
So, perhaps surprisingly, despite the automatic test being perceived as being easier, you actually have a better chance of passing your test if you're going for a full manual driving license. But there could be some hidden reasons for this. For a start, if a person gravitates towards the idea of an automatic driving test, they might be a little less confident behind the wheel of a car generally.
It's not my fault, not my fault!
Examiners might be more critical of automatic drivers as they know they have less to worry about and focus on than drivers of manual cars. Or it could just be that the learning curve for learning to drive an automatic car is quicker. Clutch control is one of the hardest things to learn, and when you cut that out of the picture, you could learn to drive an automatic car in much less time than a manual. So it could just be that people taking their automatic tests have less experience and fewer hours under their seatbelts than people taking full driving tests. Whatever the reason, the number of people taking automatic tests is going up. Just 6% of tests in 2015 were automatic. In 2020, that number was over 10%. Just to be clear, back in the day when I was learning to drive, I wouldn't have even considered learning how to drive an automatic. But times are changing. Electric cars are here and they are here to stay.
I'm not leaving!
I wouldn't want to switch back from electric to petrol now, so I can't really envisage a situation where I desperately need to drive a manual car. Even most holiday hire cars are automatic unless you specify that you want a manual. Manual cars do have one big thing going for them. It's much easier to find a super cheap used manual car than it is an automatic, just because most entry-level cars are still made with manual gearboxes. Back when I first learned to drive, I bought an old battered car for about 700 quid, and that sort of money just isn't going to get you much in the second-hand electric car market. Not even a G-Whiz.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So, for new drivers who want some super affordable independence, sadly, manual petrol or diesel is still the way to go. Though you won't have to pay too much more to get a usable automatic petrol or diesel equivalent. I say sadly because, as you all know, I am a big advocate of EVs, and regrettably, it does seem that it's going to be a long time before the lower end of the second-hand market for EVs has anywhere near as much value for money as the second-hand petrol and diesel markets. The fact is, it could be 10 to 20 years before we're seeing used EVs with good range on the market for 1 to 2K. For that to happen, we need some truly affordable new electric cars on the market with a range upwards of 300 miles. There are some promising electric cars on the market at affordable prices, which in 5 to 10 years' time could provide a strong second-hand EV market for prices of 3 or 4K upwards. But many of these cars, such as the Dacia Spring, aren't that strong on range. We do actually have a video on some incredibly exciting and affordable electric cars with high range that will be coming out in the next 2 or 3 years, and you can check that out right here. But to answer my original question, would I advise a learner driver to ditch their manual tests and just go for an automatic? You know what? I think it would be good to be prepared for any eventuality, so I'd go for a manual test just in case. But my colleague Rich disagrees.
Yes, I do disagree, and the reason for that is something that hasn't even been discussed by Eilish in this video yet. Not only are manual gearboxes increasingly a thing of the past, not only is the automatic car more prevalent, not only are electric cars taking over, but the very idea of being the sole pilot of your vehicle is becoming a thing of the past. When I drive a Tesla Model 3 in London traffic, I let the car do all of the work. When I'm on the motorway in an Audi e-tron GT, I just let the adaptive cruise control do all of the work because it's way easier. Driver assists, whether you love them or hate them, have come a long way, and I defy anyone to get behind the wheel of a Tesla in full self-driving mode and not be absolutely flabbergasted, impressed, and a little bit terrified at first.
Oh, this is so scary. Oh, Jesus, this is my first day out and I'm about to die.
So here's the test. Did the last sentence I just said excite you, or did it fill you with dread and terror because you like being in control? If you're excited by electric cars, full self-driving technology and the like, there's no point in taking your manual driving test right now. It's cheaper and it's easier to get an automatic license, so just do that instead. If you're one of those people that dreads the ever-increasing march of futurism and technology, then squeeze every last drop out of stick shift driving while you still can. Now, I should probably let Eilish carry on with her video. Wait, what the hell is that? This is new. She's actually got quite a good point though. You should subscribe to the channel. It's a pretty good channel. Anyway, back to real Eilish.
I think Rich is pretty much right. It's down to personal preference, but unless you're obsessed with driving and obsessed with cars, you might be better off doing an automatic test. For people who want to get from A to B in comfort with as little hassle as possible, then electric is clearly the way forward, and we're quickly moving towards a world in which you can quite easily never have to drive a manual petrol or diesel car. Please let us know what you think in the comments. Are you about to take your test? What are you deciding? Perhaps your kids are about to take their test. We would love to hear your stories and thoughts on this one, so fire away. And don't forget, please do make sure to follow Mini-Me's instructions and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I get shot!